welcome everybody for today's podcast that is Share and Inspire. And today we have an awesome guest with us. So that is Abhay Valsangkar sir with us. So everybody of you, so those of you watching this, say hi to Abhay sir. So just say
hi everyone.
Yes, so before moving forward, I would like to introduce Abhay sir. So who is Abhay sir and what is his mission, his purpose and what is his achievements, right? So sir, Abhay Valsangkar sir is the founder of Alter Ego Learning, a learning and development center which has a vision to make every potential employee a potential employer. Sir believes that more we learn, we realize how much more is there to learn. And sir has trained over 10,000 students and is on a mission to train 5 lakh students in the next 5 years. So not just that, sir has received the national award from 13th President of India, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, for securing All India Rank 1 in Ministry of HRD, ISTD Diploma program and secured Best Skill Development Trainer in India at International Education Icon Award by HE Mr. Daniel Chuburu, Embassy of Argentine Republic. Alter Ego Learning received the Best Award for Learning and Development Solution in India at India Leadership Award 2019 from Mirza, Goodwill Ambassador, United Nations. And sir has also received an award from Mr. Arvind, Sawant, Ministry of Heavy Industry and Public Enterprises for Youth Skill Development. And not just that, Abhay sir has got the privilege to learn from the world's best, that is Mr. Sharma, Canfield, Dr. John D. Martin, Tracy, Gaur Gopal, Jeffrey Archer, and sir owes to transfer the lessons to the youth of the country to make them more employed. So this is a short glimpse about Abhay sir, and I am really honored and privileged to have you on this show, sir. So welcome to this show, sir.
Wow, thank you so much. That is some introduction, right? You know, very honestly, Apurva, I'll be very honest with you. What do I love about interviews? It's the introduction. Because when somebody is introducing you, you go back to the journey, right? You go back to those days when you started, when that happened, oh, then that happened, and yes, this happened. So it's like a nostalgia every time somebody introduces. So first things first, before we begin, for everyone who's watching this, a big thank you for being here and watching this. Wherever you are and whenever you're going to watch this, a big thank you for you, because you could have been anywhere else right now, right? You could have been on some other YouTube channel watching some other content for entertainment or, you know, with your friends. But you chose to come on this channel and you chose to learn. And that is why I truly believe what Apurva says, right? It's your time. It's your time and it's your time now. So big thank you and a gratitude to Apurva for having me here. Not many people, not many youth of today are aware of what this is. And I think Apurva is doing a fantastic job for being aware and spreading this across for all of the viewers. So once again, it's an honor being here and I look forward to share my journey as we go ahead. So yes, Apurva, we can get started. And thank you once again for inviting me.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And my first question for you today, and I'm all excited to listen out to your story and journey, sir. So as I know, like most of the youth in the world, like most of them, they prefer to go to the job and they just settle for the life. So that is how they are, and they do not go to, or they do not try going to be an extraordinary. But I want to know you, sir. So how your journey from being an ordinary to extraordinary, how it all started, and what is that one incident or decision made you to take that action from moving from ordinary to extraordinary, sir? So what is that one incident or decision?
Sure. Thank you so much, Apurva. That's a great question. And I honestly believe the problem with India today is, it's not that the youth of today have got big goals and they miss it. The problem is the youth of today has got small goals and they achieve it. That's the bigger problem. So they end up thinking, oh, that's it, done. And that's why the goals are so small. So why didn't I never ever go for a job? When I did my engineering, I had a chance to sit for the placements. But I was very clear that I don't want a job from here. Why? Because for a simple reason, the education system that we have today is completely outdated. So the jobs which it is providing is for the industrial era, way back in the 1800s. It's nothing but a factory worker. It's a laborer job that you get. And that is why the mindset itself, if I ask any youth today, what is your dream? He says, I want to go to IITs and IIM. I'm like, why? So that I get a good job. I want a salary of 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. So the mindset is to get a job, which I don't think is the right mindset for the youth. It should be more about how can I give a job, from being an employee to an employer. So I was very clear I don't want to get into the job race, the rat race. And I'm so blessed because so many of my friends at that time when I did not go for a job, they got a placement in the first interview. And today they are asking me, Abhay, do you have any vacancy in your company? Because we want to join you. We are done with the rat race. So what shifted that and what made me choose this, which is nothing but entrepreneurship or, self-employment over being in a job? So very simple thing. When I was in my college, BE engineering, last year, I had attended a training program like this. And I realized that there is a career or a future in which you can speak, in which you can inspire, and you can make money as well. It's the best thing that ever you can do, right? If you follow your passion. And I love to speak. You might have observed that right now, how much I'm speaking, right? For all the viewers as well. You can let me know in the chat box if that's okay and if you're learning something from it, okay? So here's the thing. I attended the session and I realized there's a career in speaking and I can do this. And I wish to do this right now. But then my parents were like, at least get a job just for safety, just for backup, and then pursue your dream side by side. So I went for an interview. And that was into a real estate company called as HDIL. It is based in Mumbai. And I went there for an interview. I did the interview. I sent my resume and I got no reply. And it's like 6 months. It's like 7 months. It's like a year, no reply at all. And I'm sitting at home doing nothing after my engineering. And one of my friends who recommended this interview, he went to the US. So my routine in the month of August till the month of September was to drop my friends to the airport, and I leave my house at 12:30 in the midnight. My mother asking me a question, Abhay, where are you going? And I'm like, to the airport to drop my friend. She's like, okay, go. Second time, where are you going? Airport friend. Third time, airport friend, airport friend. Sixth time, 12:30 at midnight, she stops me and she's like, Abhay, where are you going? And I'm like, to the airport, drop my friend. And she's like, no, where are you going in your life? Will you ever catch your own flight, or are you just going to drop your friends all your life? And that one statement was like a slap on my face. If you are listening to this right now, let me know in the chat box if you understand when I say, when your family says that one thing that hurts you, right? It pinches you. And this was exactly that moment for me. I sat down, I called up my friend saying, I'm not coming to drop you. I have to figure out what I want in my life. I went back to the basics. I realized I love speaking. Let's do something in this. I got in touch with that trainer that I attended in college, the session. I told him I want to work with you. He says minimum experience is 22 years. If you have 22 years of experience, you come in my company. I'm like, sir, my age is 21. How can I have 22 years of experience at the age of 21? So I want to work for you. What is your problem? Is money the problem? I don't want money. I said this to his face. Okay, what is your loss, right? I don't want any money. I will travel with you. I'm ready to work for free. Then what's stopping you? I can help you. So he's like, let's do an internship for 6 months. So I worked with him as an intern, unpaid intern for 6 months. I learned all the tips and tricks. I later came back, started my own journey. And the first training which I did, which I got paid for, and I still remember a one-day training, 7,000 rupees is what I got that time. And this was way back, okay, this was in 2015 or something. And that first paid training was for the same client HDIL where I applied for a job. Which means my whole circle of, being an employee in that company to then going there and training. And then the HR is like, great, one of the best trainings we had. He gives a testimonial. And I'm like, thank you. Please don't check your mails. Please don't see my profile. I'm not interested in the job. I had sent it way long back. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is universe will give you opportunities if you are taking those first, second, and third steps for sure. And I remember in 2018, when I got an award from the president, I took my mother there because I had to take one person with me. And as we were leaving our house, we had to assemble at Delhi near the Bhavan in morning 8 o'clock. So I took a late flight, say around 3 o'clock flight or something like that. At 11:30, we are leaving our house. We are near the elevator. And as we are leaving, I just take a moment. I look back at my mom and I'm like, Mom, do you realize a couple of years back you asked me a question? But where are you going? Will we ever take our flight? I'm like, Mom, this is our moment. We are taking our flight. We are not going to drop someone. It's our flight and we are getting this award. So my mom was there in the front row receiving the award. She's clicking, she has tears and she's like, this is what it is, continue this and inspire people, train them. And that was the day when I realized this is what I want to do. And that is what I've been doing ever since then. So the switch and the point of change is what I just said. My mom asking me, where are you going? And will you ever take your own flight? That was the moment which really, really changed. So I think, and I hope that, this is something that is inspiring the viewers as well. I love to communicate. So let me know in the chat box, let me know in the comments, whether this is something you find relevant, and whether this is something you're getting inspired from, so that I can accordingly go ahead and share more. So I hope I answered your question there, Apurva.
Yes, sir, that was awesome. And the one thing I learned from this, whatever you shared, is that having that strong vibe, that one trigger point, what you got from your mother, so that made you to take that further decision, and also trusting in the universe and trusting in the process. So right things will happen at the right time. So that is thing I learned from this your story, sir. And but I also wanted to ask you, so in this journey, so did you have like most of the, in every journey we will be having up and down, so that is common, and how did you if you had criticism, if you were facing criticism, how did you overcome that, sir? So what was that you were following?
Again, a very good question. I think every individual has a issue, and the disease is called as not good enough disease. I think every one of us have, right? How many of you also have? Let me know below in the chat. Because when I started, I had that disease thinking, am I good enough? Is it something that can I really inspire someone? Can I really help someone? There was a lot of self-doubt until one day it completely changed. Whenever I used to go to a training, I used to get, my legs used to shiver if I see someone who's elder than me. Because one of my professors in college once told me, I was in my second year, I remember this. And in our college, the third year students, the final year students, they are the ones who get to be the general secretary, or the president of student council. And I was in second year, I went for an interview, and the team and the entire staff there, they are like, that's it, you are the general secretary. We see that in you, but we can't make you. I'm like, why? If you see a leader, then why can't? Because they are like, you are in second year. No third year student will listen to you because you are in second year. Because no elder listens to a younger person. And they put that seed in my head. And I led my entire life from that point thinking, yeah, I am too young. How will people listen to a 20-year-old, 21-year-old talking about how to be in a corporate? Doesn't make sense, right? So I was playing small. I was in my shell. I thought there's a limitation there. So I went and I did a lot of trainings, and I used to fear, what do I do now? These people are elder to me. What will happen? I'm not good enough. I'm just from normal Mumbai University. How can I go and change the world out there, right? So I had that for a long time, for about 6 to 8 months of my training. And that is why I was stuck in only schools and colleges. Because in school, I am the king, right? I am the elder guy. Everybody is small. But when I go to corporates, my shoulders drop. I'm like, hello, everyone. Confidence is low. Everything is going for a toss. Unless one day, one training would change my life. I was delivering a training for 3 days. It was for a corporate. And at the end of a third day, there's a lady, a girl comes up and she's like, Abhay sir, can I take a picture? I'm like, sure, why not? It's like a memory. We all love memories, right? So she clicks the picture and she's like, Abhay, you're from which IIT? And I'm like, I'm not from any IIT. I'm from Mumbai University, normal engineering. And then MBA, normal Pune University. Oh, you're not from IIT, is it? I'm like, no, why? Like, why are you asking this? And she's like, because sir, I am from IIT Bombay. And I'm like, okay. So I casually asked an audience of 40 people, anybody else from an IIT here? And all 40 of them raised their hands. IIT Bombay, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Delhi, I am Ahmedabad, I am Bangalore, this, that. And I'm like, oh my God. I just delivered a 3-day training to the best of minds from IITs and IIMs all across India. And they loved the session and they are giving recommendation. They want pictures from me. I never went into IIT and IIMs. And that was a day I realized the limit is in my mind. The limit is not in reality. It's not that I'm not good enough. It's that I feel that I'm not good enough. And I can obviously change that. And that is where the self-worth and the value comes up. So the biggest roadblock for me was when I thought that I am not good enough and I am playing small. And this is how I changed it when that one moment happened. After that, today when I go, I've been to IIT Bombay, I've been to IIM Ahmedabad, I've delivered talks there. And when I'm delivering talks, there's no more attention of me that I am at IIT or I am at IIM. Because the focus is not on me, the focus is on the audience. So I'm asking them questions and I'm letting them speak and them answer, and I'm just facilitating. And all the great minds are speaking and they're like, Abhay, great talk. And I'm like, great, you know what? I did not speak. I just facilitated. You only spoke because you are great minds in there, right? So the message being very simple, when you are in a league of, extraordinary people, don't teach them, don't preach them. Just be with them. They want to speak, be the facilitator, and they suddenly feel, you have a higher awareness and you are doing much better. So it's equally important for you to believe in yourself. That's the second lesson that I can have for all of you. Let me know if that makes sense in the chat box. Okay, type makes sense if that makes sense for you. Yes, Apurva, I hope it made sense for you as well.
Yes, sir, that was awesome. And one best takeaway if I have to take is that sky is always the limit. So we create a small identity for ourselves in our mind. So that is when we become small. So actually we need to believe in ourselves in whatever we do. So that is the best takeaway I got from this. And the next question for you is that, sir, so for those of you, like we have viewers watching our podcast, so what is that 5 best secrets if you want to share from your journey to the audience? So what would be that, sir?
Sure. 5. Okay, I'm going to go impromptu. Okay, I said this to Apurva, that is, whenever I do an interview, I never look at the questions. Some of them send us questions earlier. I'm like, no, I'll go with the flow, what it is. Okay. So 5 things that I can share with you if you want to be a better version of yourself. Remember this, doing a job is not a bad thing, but getting stuck in a wrong job is a bad thing. Understand that. So if you want to struggle in something that you love, because then that will help you improve. If I don't want to spend my time on an Excel sheet for the rest of my life, but if I'm struggling managing Excel sheet, then I'm not growing in life. Remember that. It's a struggle only if you're stuck in a wrong place. And how do you know it's a wrong place? Because you don't motivate yourself to come out of the bed. You need 10 alarms for the day, right? How many of you have alarms like 6 o'clock, 6:30, 6:45, and you're still like, oh, Monday. You know what happens with me? My body clock is such, I don't need an alarm. I go to sleep being excited that tomorrow I have a session. And 5 o'clock, that mission, that vision pulls me out of the bed. So I don't have to think about alarms anymore. So that's the first lesson that I have for all of you if you want to grow in your life, that don't get stuck in the rat race. Don't do things because people are doing it. And it's better to struggle in what you love rather than just doing something to keep someone happy. Because you cannot keep everyone happy, and that's a fact, right? So that's the first lesson, that follow what you like. And if you don't know what you like, keep on experimenting and trying. Some might take 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years. It's okay. It's your own timeline. Get that leverage if you can from your family. But if not, then take up a job, earn, settle. And by the time you're doing that side by side, make sure you're finding it out. But that's the first thing. If you want to grow and succeed, you need to do what you love. That's the first lesson, okay? Second, which I have, surround yourself with people who are at least of your caliber or better than you. Which means what? Don't be a big fish in a small pond. Be a small fish in a big pond. You know, the day I am in a group where I feel, hey, I am probably the most intelligent person in this group, then I don't be in that group. I go to another group when I'm again a learner and a student again. So surround yourself with people who are better than you. That is the secret to hiring what, Steve Jobs had for Apple. He's like, when I hire people at Apple, I had a simple principle. If I am A, I will hire A plus people. I'll hire smart people than me. Why? Because then I don't have to tell them what to do. They will tell me what to do. So I don't hire people to tell them what to do, right? I hire people because they are experts. And that is my policy. Surround yourself with people who are better than you. That's my second takeaway and a lesson for all of you. The third one, which I personally feel would be that take action at this very moment. Don't wait for the perfect moment. A lot of us procrastinate, right? A lot of us delay things. Let me know in the chat box if you are one of them. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week or maybe later. And then you make sure that you never ever do it in your life. So the point being, most of us are waiting for a perfect moment. That jab time aayega, tab main karega. But the fact is the time will never come. It has to be now. So as what one of my mentors says, version 1 is better than version none. Which means doing something in the direction which you want is much, much better than not doing anything. It's like, the first Maggie that you made in your life. That Maggie was either too watery or it was maybe burnt, but it was too thick. It was not perfect. But today when you make Maggie, you don't make it from your mind, right? You make it from your body. You don't even read the instructions. How many of you have never read the instructions on the Maggie packet, right? You just take the vessel, put some water, add some masalas and done. It's all judgment. Why? because now you're so better because of the practice which you had. So never be stuck on taking the first step. You don't have to be great to start. You need to start to be great. And that is why just go. You are good enough where you are right now. Just go ahead and do it. That would be the third lesson which I have. The fourth lesson which I honestly believe in every single day, learn every single day. Something or the other. You need to be a lifelong learner. And that's what I follow. I'm authoring a book which is called as a lifelong learner, where I have these principles in place. That no matter how smart or how great you feel you are, if you're not learning, then eventually you are dying, right? This is what Albert Einstein says. So you need to be a learner. Learn something or the other. A life skill, maybe technical, non-technical, platform skills, soft skills, communication, whatever it is. But make sure you're learning always and always. So that would be my fourth lesson for you. And my fifth lesson, and probably my favorite lesson, would be that direction is much more important than speed. Remember that always. What do I mean when I say direction is much more important than speed? A lot of us want to get rich, we want success, and we want quickly. Now the problem with quick making money or quick being success is that as much early as you get it, you're going to fall equally soon, because you have not developed that mettle to fight and struggle, right? So here's the deal. More than driving a car at 200 speed, it's important to know whether it's in the right direction. And that direction is what you need to figure out. Don't worry about speed. Don't compare yourself to any other people out there. It's like being in school or college. You are happy with 75% only till the time you don't go and ask your friends, right? Hey, tere ko kitna mila? How much did you get? Now, if the person says 80%, then you're like, what nonsense, yeah. Why? Because you got 75, right? They got 80. But if the person says 60, you'll be like, nice, good. So the problem is this will continue always, because the focus is on speed. I want to do better. I want to go ahead. This, that. That doesn't matter in life. It's about the direction. Direction, what you want to do. Do you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life? If yes, then no matter if you take 5 years, 10 years or 20 years to succeed, that's okay. Not a problem. I told you, right? I started with 6 months of no pay as an intern, earning nothing. From there, started to 7,000. And then gradually we went ahead. I'll tell you something. I don't usually share this, but I want you to realize the potential once you realize your own value. And you set your own value. Okay, so don't undervalue yourself. Once there was a client when I started, I had an engineering friend with me, and my elder brother is also an engineer, and he did his engineering 2001. Today is 2022. See the difference. 2001 he did his engineering, and his package was 3 lakh rupees. 3 lakh rupees for a year. That's what our engineer got in 2001. 2022, one of my friends that I know of, friend's brother, the younger one, he had a package today which is of 3.5 lakhs, and he's an engineer. 2001 3 lakhs, 2022 3.5 lakhs. How many of you realize the value of money has gone down significantly, right? What was 3 lakhs in 2001? Today that 3 lakh is probably what, 1 lakh? Not even that. So the point being what? When I started growing and when I started doing things that I love, there came days in life where in a single day, we had a client who paid us more than 7 lakh rupees in a single day. And I took a screenshot of that. I showed it to my mom, and my mom is like, Abhay, are you doing something wrong? Because you can't do this. How can you get 7 lakhs in a day, right? But the point being, that's the moment you realize you're not doing it wrong. In fact, you just got to know how to do it right. So that's the endless possibilities once you realize your value. Today, when I talk to clients, if there's a corporate training, I put my rate and I'm like, this is what it is. And they're like, whoa, it's a little high. I'm like, that's okay. But that's how much I value myself, right? How much do you value yourself is a big question. So some of us feel guilty. I remember when I started, it was like 5 rupees per student I will charge, because I think I'm only that much valuable. But then somebody gave me a very important lesson in life. And they said this, but you know what? If you are charging 5 rupees and you are telling someone that you're going to change their life, will people even believe it? How can you change someone's life in 5 rupees, right? People will be like, that's nonsense. But if you charge them 5,000, then they'll be like, yeah, now something. If you charge them 50,000, they will take more efforts. And if you charge them 1 lakh, they're going to take extreme efforts. So you decide how bad you want them to be successful. If you want them to be more successful, then you need to charge them accordingly as well. So what's the lesson? The lesson is value yourself in the right way and things will come and fall in your place. So this was a summary of the 5 things and an additional bonus tip as well. I hope you got value from it. Type value below in the comments if you got value from it. And yes, over to you, Apurva. I hope that was valuable.
Yes, sir. So actually now I feel after this session, so I need to go back and have to take down the notes, because some of the points it was also relatable to me. So yes, and those of you who are watching here, so make sure you have your book and pen with you so that you can take the notes, and this would be your life-changing point also, right? So yes, sir, and thank you so much, sir, for sharing that 5 best secrets. And the next thing what I want to ask is that, so sir, you said you love inspiring people or impacting people, and how did that journey? So like, how was the feeling of inspiring and impacting people? So like, what is the feeling you have with your work, sir? Yes, so that is the next.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, again, a good question. It all started way back in school days, okay? When I was in my school, I was a very shy guy. I don't used to talk. I never used to go on stage and speak with people. I was always in a shell. So I was more like an introvert. How many of you are introverts? Type I if you are an introvert in the comments, okay? And when I came to my college life, I decided, boss, I want to do a flip. I'm done. I saw what it is being an introvert and it's not helping. You're neither popular, nobody knows you, and you cannot explore much because you are shy. And I was like, in college, nobody knows me. So there's no reputation. So how will I damage my reputation? So I was like, I'll go all out. And I started exactly the opposite. I started talking to people, participating in events. I did a Saregama audition for singing my college first year, and I got selected in the 3rd round. And I was like, 3rd round? I could have never believed I can sing in front of people. So that is how it slowly started developing, that if I want to develop, I need to face my fear. In Hindi, we say, when you have a fear, there's a problem, you have 2 options. One is bhag lo. Bhag lo is run away. And the second is bhag lo, which is participate, which is you participate in that and then you do it. So I choose the second one. And that's how then in my diploma life, I became a general secretary. So I was leading a college of more than 3,500 students. I carried that forward to my degree college, engineering. I became a general secretary there as well. This time I had got 7,000 people that I had to lead. I got a lot of celebrities into our college. We had Priyanka Chopra, Ranveer Singh, Arjun Kapoor. We have Preetham, we have Shan, we had Nuclear. We have got all these artists in our colleges. So I spoke to their PR teams. And that is how I realized that this is something that I love to do. And that is how I realized with my action, people are getting inspired. Because when I told my team, we need to do this, and everybody did. And they came back and say, hats off, we never believed we could do it. So I trusted them with the responsibility and they delivered. So I think that's a trait of a budding leader, that you delegate and you trust people that they will do it. You don't have to do micromanagement, and I can't tell someone how to do it. I have to just tell them this is to be done, figure out in your best possible way. So that is how the speaking and inspiring thing began. And after that, I started my own company. Now I have my own company, Alter Ego Learning, and I've started a division, a training academy called as Avatar, AVATAR, which is Abhay Valsangkar Academy of Training and Research. So now we are spreading across digitally as well. This is complete digital. So I feel blessed that the guy who never spoke, from going to the auditions to then leading 3,000 people, 7,000 people, to now speaking, in front of anyone possible. So I feel blessed to be able to do that and to inspire people. So yeah, that is how I set this vision and a goal. So I hope that works, Apurva.
Yes, sir. Yes. And as you shared, so you were not able to communicate when you were in your high school or in your college. And this story, it relates with so many people, and even me, sir, because I was a person who was not able to communicate, and now doing a lot of things when it comes to communication. There are so many people who lag behind when it comes to communication. And I hope this journey, if sir can do, if I can do, and it is also possible for you. So yes, taking massive action is only the way. And thank you so much, sir, for that secret. And next thing is that, so what is that one biggest mistake you made in your journey that you want to avoid from the viewers? Like if viewers are watching, so our viewers has to avoid that mistake. So what is that one big mistake?
Yes, again, something which is a very, very good question, because see, everybody talks about success, right? Nobody talks about failure. So here's what it is. What is my biggest lesson? My biggest lesson is this. When I did my engineering, I gave a mathematics paper in semester 3. And I did not have mathematics in my diploma life. So after 10th standard, I'd done diploma for 3 years. And in the first year we had, later we did not have for 2 years. So I'm giving a mathematics paper now in engineering as my first paper. I write for 3 hours I write 120 pages, I attempt 120 marks, and when the result comes, I get 12 marks out of 100. And I get my first failure, which is called as a KT, allowed to keep term, 80 KT. I get a failure in that subject. I failed for the first time in life. 87, 90% guy and failing in the first paper in engineering. I went back for rechecking. They said not eligible. 16 is the eligibility criteria. So go and give the paper again. So I give the paper again after 6 months. Next day is my semester 4 paper. So there's no gap in between. Today is a failure paper. Next day is a regular paper. And I sit in front. I don't even have the guts to turn the question paper. I just look at the first question and I start solving. And I get an answer. And I know it's the right answer. The moment I get a right answer, I keep that pen down and I'm asking myself, how the hell did I get a right answer? I cannot get a right answer because I'm a failure in maths. How can I get a right answer? And I'm looking around who can help me. And then I realize the classroom is full of failures, right? So they're equally bad in maths as what I am. And that day I learned something which is one of my biggest lessons in life, that we as humans, we have a problem in life if we don't have any problem in life. I'll repeat that one more time. We have a problem in life if we don't have any problem in life. And that I learned very late. Those were the mistakes that I did because I was so used to mistakes that if there is no mistake, I wouldn't believe. I would start to self-doubt myself. I have so many friends, they are like, दिन भर इतना हंसी हूँ, अभी रात को रोऊंगी. And what's the concept, right? Why? Why should you cry because you laughed? How does that work? So yeah, self-sabotage is what the point being, that sometimes we are so used to problems that we are searching for problems, and you don't have to do that. So that was a mistake which I did, and I want nobody else to repeat that. It's okay if you don't have a problem, don't search problems, okay? It's okay, you can succeed in the first go as well. If not, go and continue, but never ever doubt yourself. That's the message which I have. So I hope that works. Let me know everyone if that's clear in the chat box. And yes, Apurva, over to you.
Yes, sir. So we should not avoid mistake, but we should know how to handle the mistake. And only when we learn it, so we can break through it. So that is the best lesson I got from this. So thank you, sir. And so today we have come to the end of today's awesome podcast. But before ending this, so I would like to ask you, sir, so what is that one message you want to give to the youths of our nation? Because after pandemic, so most of the youths are struggling with their life or struggling how to get a job. So what is that one message you want to give to them? So yes, sir, over to you.
Sure. So I will quote my favorite person in the world, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And he had a quote which is my guru mantra for life. Okay, I follow this every single day. I read it at least once. That's in my Facebook bio as well. And it goes in Hindi. I will then translate it in English. And it goes like this. इंतजार करने वालों को वही मिलता है जो कोशिश करने वाले छोड़ जाते हैं. I'll give you a moment to sing that in if you got it. If you're not, I'll translate it in English for you. The ones who are waiting will only get what is left by the ones who try. So the point being this, if you are someone who's waiting, you're going to only get what is left by a person who has tried and given up. But if you are the one who's doing it, koshish kar rahe ho, if you're trying it, then I'm sure you're going to achieve it. So don't sit back. Go ahead, you're good enough, and go and give it your first step and a first stop. I did Mount Everest. I went to Everest Base Camp in 2016, minus 18 degrees. We had to climb at about 5,800 meters. And I'm there and I realized this is tough. But then what's the beauty? The beauty is one step at a time. You take that one baby step and you realize you did a 14-day trek for sure. So that is what it is. You are good enough. Go ahead, start right now and see a difference in a year times to come. So that's the only message which I have. Take action now. So yes, thank you. And I hope all of you had a lot of value. And thank you once again for being here till the end if you are. And let me know what's your one biggest takeaway in the comments below, okay? And thank you once again, Apurva, for having me here. And all the best. And I wish you lots of luck, health, wealth, and happiness as you go ahead. Thank you once again. Over to you, Apurva.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much for sharing your story and valuable insight from your story, sir. And I hope for every viewers who are watching, so it has added lot of values. And if you feel it is inspiring, I need to take more action. So you can also follow Abhay sir in Facebook, YouTube. So I'll be sharing the links in the description, and make sure you stay tuned for the next inspiring podcast with an amazing person. So see you all back again. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.